Hello, and welcome to this pre-recorded event for delivering Pearson's new AS and A-Level Economics A specifications from 2015, Theme 1. To help you get the most out of this session, you may want to have the following documents handy, as we will refer to them during the session. A-Level Economics A Specification, Getting Started Guide, Theme 1 Planning Activity. All of these documents can be downloaded from the Economics subject page. Let's start by reminding ourselves of the specification structure. Theme 1 introduces students to markets and market failure, while Theme 2 focuses on performance and policy measures in the UK economy. As such, Theme 1 has a broadly microeconomic focus, and Theme 2 has a broadly macroeconomic focus. These themes have the same content in both the AS and A-level qualification. Theme 3 builds on the content in Theme 1, exploring business behaviour and the labour market. Theme 4 has a global focus and builds on Theme 2 content. There are two externally examined papers for the AS qualification. Theme 1 is assessed in Paper 1, and Theme 2 is assessed in Paper 2. The content for Theme 1 and Theme 2 is the same for the AS and A-level qualifications. This means that even though the AS and A-level qualifications are separate, you can co-teach them. More on this later. There are three externally examined papers for the A-level qualification. Theme 1 and Theme 3 are assessed in Paper 1. Theme 2 and Theme 4 are assessed in Paper 2. And Paper 3 assesses content from across the entire course, bringing all the concepts together. Paper 3 can be viewed as the synoptic paper. Linear courses with all exams taken at the end may require different teaching approaches. Before we look at Theme 1 in detail, these slides introduce some things you might like to think about, or things you might do already. For most students, economics is a new subject for A-level, and is very different from other subjects they've studied at GCSE. Linking the economic theory to real-life contexts, news stories and data can show students how economics works and support them in building confidence with the subject from the very beginning. Many students have told us that they choose economics because it's relevant to what they see in the news, so introducing this from the outset helps to reinforce that the subject is all around them. Linked to building confidence is building student interest in the subject. As we've mentioned, linking the economic theory to real-world situations students are aware of can help to build enthusiasm for the subject. The specification content has been updated to reflect developments and current issues in economics. For example, the introduction of the financial sector supports student understanding of recent economic events and the 2008 global financial crisis. The inclusion of some introductory ideas in behavioral economics ensures students develop an understanding of more recent economic thinking. We introduced earlier that we've included skills for university progression. As part of this, our papers have a range of extended writing questions, ranging from 8 to 25 marks in the A-level. And there will be plenty of opportunities for students to practice their extended writing. Remember that as A-levels are now linear qualifications, all assessments are taken at the end of the course, so students develop extended writing throughout the course of study. Our research showed that universities were keen for A-level students to develop extended writing skills, demonstrating their ability to build and sustain economic arguments. Our research with higher education showed that critical thinking is one of the key skills universities are looking for in economics students. Universities want students to appreciate that there is not always a right answer, and that economics can be debated. By developing the ability to think like an economist, students will have a toolkit of concepts which they can apply to a range of familiar and unfamiliar contexts as they progress through A-level and into further study. The content of our specification supports students to develop inquiring minds. For example, aspects of economic history have been integrated throughout the course to support contextual awareness and inform macroeconomic debate. This content also demonstrates how economic events can be interpreted in different ways, and how they impact on more recent economic events. The inclusion of reference to economic thinkers supports the understanding that there are different perspectives in economics, with different ways of approaching economic issues. References to current economic policies and issues, and the requirement to develop an awareness of recent events are outlined in the specification. Throughout the course, you could use a range of questioning techniques to support students in developing as economic thinkers. For example, allowing time for thinking, closed and open questions, asking several students without revealing the answer, or not revealing the answer at all, demanding a reason to explain the correct response, exploring why an incorrect response is wrong. When setting written work, you could set at least one question that isn't straightforward, to encourage students to debate different viewpoints. Students are required to develop and demonstrate competence in quantitative skills for economics. It's important for these skills to be applied to relevant economic contexts to ensure students develop an holistic understanding of the application of quantitative skills to economics. This isn't about doing lots of maths in isolation, but using appropriate quantitative skills in the appropriate economic contexts. Students will already be familiar with most of the skills through their study of GCSE maths, and it is important to demonstrate how these mathematical skills are relevant to the study of economics. In addition to the content requirements in the specification, these skills can also be developed through the use of stimulus material and case studies, providing opportunities for students to apply a range of quantitative skills to analyze real economic issues. This stimulus material should take the form of both qualitative and quantitative information. Our thematic structure enables students to develop knowledge and understanding as they progress through the course. This means that they are encouraged to reinforce concepts they have studied at the beginning of the course later on. For example, students are introduced to economics through building knowledge and application of microeconomic and macroeconomic concepts in Theme 1 and Theme 2. With breadth and depth of knowledge and understanding, and applications to more complex concepts and models, developed in Theme 3 and Theme 4. This supports continuous progression throughout the whole A-level course of study. We're now going to summarize the highlights in Theme 1. You might want to refer to the specification, or have your hard copy to hand, as we go to this section. You can also refer to the Getting Started guide, which includes teaching and learning ideas for each topic. Theme 1 focuses on microeconomic concepts. Students will consider how markets work, looking at how supply and demand interact to allocate resources in local, national, and international markets. Having looked at how markets work, students will also consider market failure. They will explore the nature and causes of market failure, as well as the strengths and weaknesses of government intervention. New content in this theme includes an introduction to economic thinkers, with reference to Smith, Hayek, and Marx. This sets some interesting context for students to explore. Also included in this theme is rational decision-making and alternative views of consumer behavior, which is an introduction to behavioral economics. Overall, the theme provides coherent coverage of microeconomic content, with students drawing on local, national, and global contexts. This topic introduces students to the nature of economics through exploring some key underlying concepts. This includes the idea that economics is a social science, positive and normative economic statements, the economic problem of scarcity, and production possibility frontiers. Students will also consider the advantages and disadvantages of specialization and the division of labor in organizing production and in the production of goods and services to trade. Specialization means there is a need to exchange, and this is why students will explore the functions of money. Students are also introduced to the different ways economies can organize themselves in terms of free market, command, and mixed economies. Students are required to distinguish between the three and consider the advantages and disadvantages of each. This topic looks at how markets work and introduces students to markets through exploring supply and demand. Students should use supply and demand to analyze real-world situations and impacts on markets. Students will also challenge the assumption that consumers behave rationally. Students will look at movement along the demand curve, but not indifference curves, and movement along the supply curve, but not the relationship between marginal costs and supply. Supply and demand analysis covers indirect taxes and subsidies, including reference to elasticities and incidence. These are also relevant in the discussion of market failure. Price determination is also part of Topic 1.2, which looks at how markets work. Students will cover applications of the price mechanism and will examine real-world markets, considering what is causing prices to change. Supply and demand diagrams should be used to demonstrate how shifts in the demand or supply curve cause changes in the equilibrium price and quantity. This topic considers how markets can fail to deliver the socially optimal level of output and explores externalities, public goods, and information gaps. Students should be able to apply the concepts to real-world markets, and a wide range of examples may be used to demonstrate the application of market failure, including transport, air, rail, road, healthcare, education, environment, waste disposal, recycling, pensions, tobacco, alcohol, commodity markets, hard and soft, agriculture, and fishing. For externalities, 2 diagrams are required: external costs from production and external benefits from consumption. The diagrams should identify free market and social optimum outputs, the over and under production and consumption, and welfare loss and gain areas. Market failure is a justification for a government role in creating a more efficient social optimal outcome. This topic considers ways in which governments can intervene in markets and the impact of these interventions. Students will also consider how government intervention can lead to net welfare loss. The content can be applied to a variety of contexts, such as waste, overfishing, transport, health, and education. This slide provides an overview of one way you might approach planning for these new topics. Have a look at the planning activity document for Theme 1. The purpose of this resource is to demonstrate an approach to building a bank of knowledge and background information for different topics, so is not indicative of the specification coverage. The approach taken in this resource is to identify: what do students need to know? You can use resources such as the Getting Started Guide to help with this. What examples can you use to illustrate this? To support students with application, you can refer to resources such as our Scheme of Work to help. What causes and consequences and linkages can you think of? What evaluative points can be made? How can this content be revisited later in the specification? Where are the links? How will you revise this when teaching themes 3 and 4? If you think this approach will work for you and your department, why not adapt this for each topic so you can build a bank of resources? I've mentioned some of the support available to help you deliver Theme 1, so I'd now like to spend a bit of time reminding you of the support we're providing. Our Getting Started Guide provides an overview of the new AS and A-level specifications to help you get to grips with the changes to content and assessment, and to help you understand what these changes mean for you and your students. The guide includes suggested teaching and learning approaches for each theme in the specifications. Editable course planners can be adapted to fit your timetabling and staffing arrangements. There is a thematic course planner, which broadly follows the order in which content is set out in the specification, and is designed to support those planning to co-teach AS and A-level. The Integrated Course Planner is a suggested approach for those intending not to co-teach the AS level qualification. Whether you're thinking of staying with or switching to Pearson Edexcel for the 2015 AS and A-level economic specifications, specification mapping documents are easy reference guides to help you identify key comparisons and differences between the 2008 and 2015 specifications. Suggested activities and teaching points are included in an editable scheme of work to support you in planning to teach the new course. case studies and practice questions for some of the new specification topics, including economic thinkers, national happiness, and the financial sector, will support you in planning and delivering some of the new content areas. Our options evening materials will help you discuss the new AS and A-level economics specification with students and parents, and explore the different pathways and careers our qualification can provide. Exemplar student work and examiner commentaries will support you in understanding the new standard. The student work has been generated by A-level leavers trialling the new assessments. We have also published specimen papers, so you have a set of A-level papers to use as mocks when you start teaching. Make the most of our free Results Plus service for tracking your students' progress. Results Plus is a free online results analysis tool for teachers that gives you a detailed breakdown of your students' performance in Edexcel exams. Widely used by teachers across the country, Results Plus provides the most detailed analysis available of your students' performance and helps you to identify topics and skills where your students could benefit from further learning, helping them gain a deeper understanding of their subject. We are also launching our Exam Wizard service for A-level economics. Exam Wizard is a free online resource for teachers, containing a bank of past paper questions and support materials to help you create your own mock exams and tests. Our national training program of events will continue to provide you with training solutions when you start teaching the new specification in 2015. Watch out for support with themes 3 and 4, as well as training for mocks marking in 2016. And of course, our subject advisor for economics, Colin Leith, is always here to help. Colin's contact details will be displayed at the end of this session. This is the main AS and A-level economics subject page. All of the free support materials are available to download from the economics pages of our website. To find this page, go to Qualifications, A-Levels, Economics A. Choose the Specification tab to download copies of the specification and sample assessment materials, summary information about the reforms and introduction to the course. Scroll down to find contact information for Colin, links to our subject community and subject pages. The Course Materials tab is the place to access all the documents. The Teaching Support tab gives you a clear overview of all the support we have available. The Training and Events tab provides a quick link to the training events we have on offer. We're also working with publishers on endorsed resources. However, it is not necessary to purchase endorsed resources to deliver our new qualification. Here's a summary of the publishers we're working with. If you would like to find out more about these resources, please visit the publishers' websites. We're almost at the end of the session now, but there are a couple more things I'd like to tell you about before you go. We're recruiting examiners for our new specification. If you would like to know more, please visit our website. Please get in touch with Colin and his team if you need any further help or support. Colin and our online economics community will ensure you receive help and guidance from us, as well as sharing ideas and information with each other. You can sign up to receive e-newsletters from Colin to keep up to date with qualification updates and product and service news. Thank you for listening to our event today.